Hello, Pichan.
Hey, so Dragon Ball
Yes.
Daima.
Yes, we're gonna
Hey,
start with Dragon Ball Daima today.
so it was left with a nice cliffhanger of getting their um
The ship got
space
stolen.
shuttle, their spaceship, their spaceship getting stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big step back, right? And
Yes.
obviously Goku, so like, well, we can fly, and then everyone easily tells him that flying there isn't really the convenient way, that it's actually very heavy on the body
Well,
and
well,
shit.
yeah,
So
because of the heavy air that's in the demon
air, yeah.
realm, it would like consume more energy than what it's worth. So they decided to just
Mhm.
walk, you know, a certain
Walk
distance.
even, even walk is just rather better for on them. So then they meet some old people, like
Well, first we
what's
get a
the
little thing where they had to cross the abyss that they're not supposed to like fall into, right? And that's like the only
Mhm.
part where they flew for a bit, and
Right.
we get to see like Glorio fight this like sea like serpent thing, right? From the demon realm.
Oh, that's
And
right.
and he moves pretty quick, like considering how Goku was struggling to move. He seems like he has no
Mhm.
problem uh managing to
Oh,
fly.
that is his room, right? That is
Yeah,
his
that is his
like,
realm, so he
yeah.
flies pretty quick. And yeah, they they kind of also like encounter like a monster before they get to meet the old people, right? But like
Mhm.
we find out that in the demon realm, like people don't know what ki is. So I thought that was really neat, like little world building where
Mhm.
like only the humans
Yeah.
can like tap in, or like people that have been like once again, like people that have been to Earth can like tap into the key of living things. So
Right.
that was neat, you know. And that's when they go and meet the old people and stuff, and we we get to see Goku also like eat more different types of meat, like a
Yes.
chameleon this time.
Yes.
It looked
Yes.
pretty appetizing, but I'm also like concerned that Goku
The
just
drink was. I wanted to think it was boba. Because
the drink.
yeah,
It looked like piss.
yeah,
But
yeah. The drink was, did not look very appetizing, and he
and
didn't seem to enjoy it either. So, or like,
no, he said it was bitter, but like I just I'm just like worried that Goku doesn't like really mind what he eats, right? Like I think this is like the third thing that we've seen him just like chow down from there,
mhm,
and it's not even like, I don't know, maybe to him it all just tastes like chicken. Who knows?
probably. But really, he just doesn't discriminate. He's like, I love all food. If you eat it, I'll eat it. You know.
Yeah, and we find a little souvenir shop kind of right there, right? That's made of old bugs.
Of bugs. That
Eh,
was neat. That was neat. I can't wait for them to use them.
yeah, because one of them is practically,
See
he
what
says, like a sensu beam. So
Sensubin, yeah.
and they're like, "What's that?" And it it's pretty neat. I obviously he tried using it already, right?
Hmm.
Towards the end of the episode, but yeah, the way they're like gonna make it to the next demon realm, essentially. First, they have to like use this thing to get them close, which is like a sky seed or something like that, which just is like
I see.
they're
Like a fucking Q-tip, and that they fucking throw like what is that?
like a rocket, kind of like just one way rocket.
No, I was thinking more of that stick with the elastic in the middle that people throw balls
Mm.
in. Very old school toy, like back in the
I
60s,
probably
even like
I
yeah.
I do not recall.
A slink or a slink or something. A slink. I don't know.
Oh,
Um. So yeah. Anyways, that was very expensive for that for sure.
I mean, they were trying to charge him like what, like 10 grand before, and then he's like, "Nah, I'll go somewhere else," and they lowered to like 5 grand, and then he had to buy the bugs for Goku. Still, you know, so
That was funny.
it's just really interesting because that Gloria's kind of like just like a babysitter right now, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
just looking out
And he's
for.
like, this is really the strong, one of the strongest. It's not the strongest person. Yeah,
Yeah.
poor dude. He's all confused, but he's doing well. He's being a good tripper. Well, I really like that as they're getting to their destination or whatever. Um, Goku says how like they should go after the Dragon Balls, right? From the
Yes.
room. That if it just takes them to fight the demons, that's something they can do, and will be the most convenient and short um you know
Well, yeah, we have like a
uh,
little conflict of interest, right? Because at first Gloria wasn't really like about it, but then he was kind of like, you know what, you might be right. That might be our best
yeah.
option, and I think like Supreme Kai kind of like looked them pretty like in a way where it's kind of like suspicious, yeah, like suspicious way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all,
Yeah.
he's been like feeding them info as they go along, and not necessarily like giving them the whole context, right? And now
Yeah.
he wants to take like a fucking detour all the way to where they first got there, you know.
Hmm.
So it's very odd that he would agree to that so easily, especially because you know, they just wasted like 5+ grand just to get where they were right there, and they have no
For
ship.
real, they really don't. Well, um, I like that also they're stop by or get hold up by a town and see like a whole extortion happening from that king that
Yeah,
did that to them, right?
yeah, Gamma.
And yeah,
Yeah,
that was really, really cruel. I'm
it was
glad
it
Goku did
was
his thing and butt in
yeah. I mean,
and
that was so like unfair. It was like 3 gold
Mhm.
coins or 3 years of your
First
life
it
per gold
was
coin.
so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
It was like
this old man was like,
insane.
I don't even know if I have 9 years. Like, you know,
For real, imagine that fucking shit, man. And not even type of warning too. Like they just came like, we're here to collect taxes, as you know. And he
yeah,
feels we've been lenient. So starting today, we're starting now.
yeah.
Like,
You're all paying 3 gold coins. Like, damn.
that's a
So it
lot.
kind of like makes me wonder how Deborah was as a king, like whether he was also like extorting people or if he would just like let him be.
Right.
But
Hopefully we get more about that.
yeah, definitely, I would love more like lore behind it, and you know, like you said, we really got to see like Goku shine and use his
Mm-hmm.
skills,
Do his thing.
use his pole, you know.
Yeah. I like that we finally get our other character on this series. It's been
Yeah,
like, you know.
yeah. That one seems definitely interesting. They try to fight off more than they can chew, but you know, uh,
Yeah.
luckily Goku was there to like pick up the slack, and then I just like that he acts first, and then he's like, oh shit, right, I wasn't supposed to like go all out like this yet, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Goku. Yeah, it's a good training for him too. Obviously he saw it as, you know.
Yeah, he
Mm.
definitely. I mean, it's good. It seems like he's getting used to moving, like comparatively, right? Because
Mhm.
prior to this, like this fight and the one in the bar, he was kind of like testing it out, and he didn't seem as sharp. But now it seems like he's having no problem at least moving in the demon realm. So I really enjoyed it, and you know, animation's been really solid
Right. Mhm.
from this, and
Yes.
I hear that this weekend coming up, I think we're or this past weekend when this video goes up, that the Dragon Ball Daima dub is finally gonna come out.
Yeah. Mhm. And in theaters too.
Yeah, and in theaters as well, with the
Yes.
OG Goku voice actor, so from like the
Yes.
kid. So that's interesting. I'll probably be watching Daima in dub as well.
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, I mean,
Excited for that as well.
yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I mean, now they're like fugitives now, so like now their job is even harder. Thanks Goku.
Yeah, and but they still have like two goals, you can say. Get
Yeah,
the guy and get the, well, I guess it's like two-step goal. Get the Dragon Balls and defeat the guys
yeah.
that way. Or get the powers back,
I
and that's
think
how you defeat the guy.
yeah, I mean, yeah. That's how they're gonna defeat him. They wanna. I think that was the main goal. It's like get the Dragon
Hmm.
Balls, uh, get Dende back, use the Dragon Balls from Earth to wish him back to normal, and
Hmm.
then stop the guy. Cause I don't know, like we didn't really talk about it much last episode. But how are the others gonna get there? They don't know the passcode. Like,
Yeah, I know. We're really gonna see that when we get there.
mm,
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, we'll see because that was something that they did realize that they didn't pass on the pin. So,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
hmm,
well, I guess King Kai can like communicate through telepathic ways. I guess that in that way, if he remembered the past, he can just
right.
send it to Kirito. But yeah, that's all I got on Daima.
Yes, I have that. That's all I have to say too.
Alright, well, on to the next one. Blue Box episode
Blue Box.
5.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
So
about Blue Box.
yes. So
Well, the day finally arrived. They're getting, well, the night before. We start with the night before when they're getting ready for their date. We see that our boy is trying to figure out his outfit and even slips in for it.
yep.
So,
On the most important
but
day for him, he gets
I
a
know.
nice sleep in, and I mean he's rewarded though, regardless though, because he made it on their own time,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It still didn't affect anything because that girl's sweet anyway. So.
yeah, he did drop his money. So I don't know if maybe like he might have lost a few cents, but other than that, he did well. He
Mm-hmm.
beat the guy, so he did earn the date, and
Mm-hmm.
beat him pretty
Mm-hmm.
convincingly.
Yep. Oh, and that day was so great because I honestly, personally love aquarium dates.
Yeah, they're always
I try
done.
to go,
They're always done nicely in the animes for sure.
and it's so nice, and it was so nicely animated as well.
Yeah,
So,
it's beautiful.
especially the seahorse, I really like that. Just the shots, of him and his thoughts about her while he's looking at it, and it's just in awe and in disbelief about this happening, right? Oh, that's
Yeah,
really, that's really cute. So,
yeah, and I like that this wasn't just like she didn't really just say that she wanted to go out with him, just to like kind of go out with him. It was more so also because she had things in her mind that she wanted to like let Taiki know and just get
oh
out there
yeah, that's true. She
because
also wanted to apologize and took this as the opportunity. It was nice of her to do that.
yeah, because like obviously these are teens, so like they don't necessarily have the best way to communicate that they want to talk, so
Yeah, I know. Especially
so
they're a little toxic in their own way. So.
yeah, they're like heavily like you know um heavily into like their own sports that sometimes they don't really pay attention, and that's kind of like what Taiki was doing, right? He was kind of like, oh, you were worrying about like what you said to me. It's like, don't worry about it, I'm tougher than I look.
Mhm.
Like something like that's not gonna put me down. But
Correct.
I know for a fact he was kind of glad, like she thought of that much about him, like usual. So like he does give her like comfort and was kind of like, you know, you have my number, so like if there's ever a time want to talk or you need to get something off your chest, just send me a sticker, and I'll know that in this way you'll want to communicate with me something, right? So that
That
was
was definitely cute
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I also love like she just like took a random like photo of him while on the date, and he was kind of like,
Oh, that was such a cute. Yeah, it was so cute too. Like honestly, it was just so cute. Everything they
mm,
did so well, and
yeah.
what she wore too.
Oh yeah, Taiki was over the moon because he's never
Yeah,
seen her in anything but like training shorts and stuff.
sports and yeah, and sports.
Yeah, so
So
he was definitely glad about that. So yeah,
that was
she kept a little memoir of them being in there. Pretty nice. And we should talk about a little, just a tiny bit about best wingman Kyo. The boy with glasses. I finally learned his name.
yes, he really did. He did it. Really did a solid to our boy and to our girl because
Yeah,
we know that girl is
yeah. I
somewhat
mean,
interested.
and I think what's really interesting is that thanks to that, I think he now found out like prior to their date that Kyo helped them get a date, right? Because him and Taiki were talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and she seemed like a little. They didn't specify that she was upset about that, but she had like a bit of like tears on her teary eyes, right? And it was kind of like she's like, "Oh, it's probably because I just gained a kilo." But I think that's just like a way that her mind is kind of like, or her body is expressing that she is feeling sad now, right? It's not necessarily
Some
the
pain, some hurt. Yeah,
so she's coming to
that's what-
she doesn't come to she's coming to a realization of how much feeling she actually has for Taiki. That's what I'm getting at. Like this is like the beginning portion of it where it's kind
first sign. First sign. Yeah, agreed.
yep.
Agreed. I saw that one coming too. So now we're gonna see her realizing or acknowledging it, or
Yeah. And it's
yeah,
even made
noticing it.
yeah, and it's even made more aware like after the fact when she finds out how their date went and she does not seem like all too thrilled about them having a good date.
Hey, you just reminded me how this episode ended. Fuck.
Yes, we can
Um,
get into that for a
yeah.
bit, but yeah,
Damn.
she makes faces, and you know it's not looking like there's like that's like the second sign when she was just not making like a super happy face like she usually does when she's trying to play a wingman for Taiki, right?
Yeah. 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 That was something. She was not. She was forcing her smile in a way. Oh,
Yeah,
she's so cute though, and I
yeah,
love. Was this the one that had a scene too where they're looking for her
yes,
to make an interview? Oh,
yes.
adorable.
She had like the smug face, right? As soon as she
Yes.
was getting interviewed.
Yes.
And it's like just goes to show like how good she actually is at her sport,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That they're actually
Mhm.
like scouting her out this early on, right? I don't
Mhm.
I don't think like Chinatsu or Taiki were getting scouted this early on either, but she is, so it's kind of like it's and it what's really interesting is that just Kyo and Taiki are just kind of like, man, I didn't realize she was such a big deal, or at least Taiki said that, right?
Right.
Because it's like to us, she's
They
always just
did.
been like an ordinary girl, right? So
Mhm.
and you know, just Kyo being best wingman, he got after he realizes how like the date went with Taiki and Chinatsu, he's kind of like, you know what, bro? Maybe she actually likes you. Have you ever thought about that? You know?
Yeah, I mean, she's also a normal girl.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So he was like, you know, it's not out of the realm that she might actually have feelings for you too, you know?
Or is
Mm.
interested in you, or will consider,
Yeah, but
maybe not
you know, obviously Taiki's not like um how do you say, like
full of
he's
himself, or
yeah, he's not full of himself. He still feels like he has a lot to go. Like obviously he feels like he needs to make the national team, the nationals, before he can have a
hmm
real shot at Shinatsu.
yeah, be on her same, yeah, on same level.
Yep. But yeah, okay, we're gonna get into now like the literal crux where the ending portions where, you know, I think after, you know, Hina tells some stories about like Taiki to Chinatsu. I think Chinatsu like notices then and there that she probably has feelings for Taiki.
Yeah, I think the friend is noticing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
no, Kyo for sure noticed too. Like I'm pretty sure, you know, he's too observant to like not have noticed. But obviously
right.
he knows who Taiki likes, so he's not gonna really like get in the
hmm
way of his first love.
Get him to confuse, yeah,
He, so,
or
but
sabotage him with it.
yeah, which is I like because, you know, in most other animes, like, you know, you could probably go uh, like a friend would probably be like, you know, you should probably go for somebody more your own status, and that would be kind of like,
hmm
I guess Hina would be like that person that in another anime they would say like to go after, because you have like, you know, childhood friend, you know each other, you know, all that stuff. So it'll be like more doable. But obviously Kyo's not like that because he is the best wingman. Um, but yeah, so we get to like the last few scenes of the episode, and both Hina and Chinatsu go to this hospital. Like Hina's getting checked out. They don't specify what Chinatsu's there for, or if she's just there for like a regular like physical or whatnot.
I thought it was there for massages.
It was a massage.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they were saying. What one was doing, and it was the same price, and yeah,
Okay.
it seemed like there was just like a massage.
Okay,
Yeah,
then I might have missed that part while I was jotting stuff down. But
yeah.
but yeah, no, like Chinatsu like sees her there, and, you know, they talk for a bit, and
Let's have a little girl talk, yeah,
yep,
or a
and
little sport talk, but like but getting their little girl on.
yeah, exactly, and, you know, she managed like Chinatsu manages to like leave her phone behind,
I
you know,
know, right?
so Hina's like, you know
Or
what,
cliche, but okay.
yeah, kind of like, okay, we'll buy it,
And
right?
then, but she also, is the one that didn't forget to bring an umbrella and has an extra one.
Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, you forget your phone, but you're extra aware. Bring two umbrellas.
Yeah,
Okay,
extra cautious.
we'll buy it just because this moment was so heartbreaking when Hinagos chases her
hmm
down and she realizes that Chinatsu's living with Taiki.
I know, she really does.
And
She
the way
really
that,
does because she goes and fucking greets him at the fucking door.
yep, and
Or goes, no, this he's actually saying bye to him at the door because he's like, oh, it's Starry. I don't think I am.
yeah, and you know, Chinatsu gets in the house for Taiki, and she just sees the name of the family, and it's kind of like now it's all starting to click for her, right? Like why they're getting
Mm,
why they're so close now, right? And stuff.
right.
And I just love the way the anime kind of symbolized the heartbreak, which just the downpour just got louder and louder,
And her, you know,
and her
leaning
the
against the walls.
yeah, and like
Down,
the
the she sits on the floor.
yeah with the background also is turning like main.
dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's such so powerful, and I really like enjoy this because, oof, like I said, Hina's
Yeah.
my favorite. Hurt
Yeah, Hina is cute and adorable.
hurts me to see her like
So,
this all over again.
so you do sympathize with her
Oh, for sure.
and
And
cheer, yeah, and still, cheer for her.
yeah, oh, it's gonna be
We'll
remembered.
see. I'm excited to see how she handle it, like how she confronts him and says anything.
Me too. Hopefully, you know, it doesn't get too crazy, and where they have to like tell her. I mean, she'll probably get it that she doesn't have to like blurt out that they're living together because obviously I think it's pretty evident that they want to keep it a secret.
I know, right? But that's probably gonna kill her though.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll really see how
Will it kill her, or
chooses to handle
will
it.
do you think it will kill her,
Will she
or
stay quiet, even if it kills her, or will she confront her? That even though it makes it like awkward and maybe
okay?
a
So
little, yeah, awkward between them.
you think she'll keep quiet, or
I
okay?
don't know. I don't know what she will say. I'm just saying, like, I can't wait to see
Okay,
which way she's going to do.
me too. Like it'll be good for sure. I
Hmm.
can't wait for you to see what happens after this. So
Yeah.
that that'll be it for this episode of Blue Box. On
Yeah.
to the next one. Blue Lock, episode 29. We're we're wrapping up the games finally, and lo and behold, Team A has won all their games. Who would have thought it? You know,
Right.
both Rin and Shido just demolishing competition. And after they win, they
Because they're like really beating on each other too. Like they're not like harmonizing at all. Like
nope, they're
the
not.
two main ones, but they still dominating. That's how good both of them are. I think.
Yes, I think they just operate in completely different spectrums, and luckily luckily and unluckily for them, like the only thing they really click on is they know where they're supposed to be to score the goal, you know
Right, right. True.
but man, that was crazy though, right? Just you just watch Shido like high knee Ren, and he's about to like kill him, and Ego's
Mm-hmm.
like, I never thought I had to use this shock thing.
I, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, so like you had this unlock, everybody can just like get electrocuted at any moment, like, hello.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is very extreme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but things are wrapping up, and they have less days to prepare now, and they have to choose the starting 11 for the blue law.
The start 11.
Yep.
Hey, I want to say that the people that I did pick, most of them got picked.
Yep.
I'm
Mm.
very happy to say that.
Yes, we all assumed the top six were gonna get picked regardless, right? Because
Yeah.
they were just too damn good for like the other people to like get through
Yeah,
them.
and the person the Rin's brother picked
Yes.
definitely had a feeling.
Yes, you got that
Definitely
correct.
had a
I didn't
feeling.
want to tell you you did, but you did get it. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like yeah,
you
yeah,
obviously weren't gonna. You would have loved if it was Rin, but like based on like the first episode of the season, you were just like, yeah, no,
yeah.
Rin. It's not gonna be Rin, and then you're like, damn, but
No.
who has like this ego to like score goals, and
Mm-hmm.
none of them really do have like that like drive for like goals. like Shido does, you know.
Nope.
So
That's right.
so good choice. I mean, it could have been Baro. But you
It
know,
was crazy how they kept him or how they gave him away or whatever.
I mean, they had no choice. Otherwise, Rin's brother was not gonna play the match, and that's the only way they were selling the match. So
No. I made how they had him tied up, like 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 the bad guys from the X-Men, you know?
what do you mean?
How they had him tied up, the security layers,
Oh yeah,
how they had
yeah,
him wrap
yeah.
up and things.
Yes,
Like
I mean
that
he's
was
a
insane.
yeah. I mean he's insane. He just attacks his own teammates. Like
Well, true, but still.
you know, I think the U20 needed to do that on him, but yeah. So basically, the way that the starting 11 was selected, first of all, Ego was like kind of trying to keep Shido as kind of like a backup, you know, because he's like too many cooks in the kitchen don't mix well, right?
Right.
And just because he decided to put Ren at the forefront, he couldn't put Shido because they do not mix well. So
Mm-hmm.
we got our goalkeeper Gagamaru, you know, our good jumpy boy, the Nico and Aru as center backs, you know, Nico the other Isagi,
Mm-hmm.
and then the glamour guy that jumps.
Isagi, I was so happy for my boy.
And Isagi, yeah, Isagi with Nagi, both like kind of backing up Ren.
Yeah.
We got the
Was that
we
for
got the
the other dude, Ray, but whatever, or Roy or whatever.
yep, and
Nagi's lesbian, but whatever.
yeah. I mean, we got also the boys, you know, Shigiri and Bachira also. Our boys made it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bachira's not too happy that he has to play a defensive role, but he's like, I'm still gonna score. You know, it don't matter where you play me, I'll score. And you know, it was kind of inevitable that we were gonna have like Karisu. You know, he's gonna be like the main brain of the midfield. You know, so
Right.
so yeah, I think the biggest surprise for everybody was that Isagi made it, and people were not happy about it. You know,
Yeah. True on that one.
like Baru was growing red veins, and the others were kind of like the
He made it too, right? That's when I got a little bit confused. Didn't
okay.
he get picked?
Um, he is gonna make it because he scored a goal, and basically it was like the people that scored the most goals or gave the most
Mm-hmm.
or basically the ones that scored the most goals or made more contributions to scoring goals are gonna make it essentially. But so since
Mm-hmm.
Varo made it, he is gonna join, but he's not joining the starting 11.
Okay, got it.
So aside from Baro, there's others that I don't think were announced, but you can
Mm-hmm.
pretty much tell that they're gonna make it. So like Rio, he's probably gonna be in there as backup, you know, because he
Right.
scored a goal. Probably Hiyori, the guy that was doing the passes for Isagi, probably is gonna make it for his contribution. And
Right.
other than that, like the others are still like kind of fighting their place, doing the training to kind of like earn their spot.
Mm.
But we get to see the U20 team. How do you feel about it? About the
The
U20,
who?
the U20 team, the
Oh
one that
yeah. Ah, I I like that dude, the old looking dude that that confronted them.
IQ.
Um no, I don't know their names, but he had his eyes um you know, non-shown.
Yes, I think you are talking about is he's the one with the two different color eyes, right? This one you're talking about.
I wait, no, I thought he had his eyes covered with hair. So I don't know if he had color eyes.
Are we?
But he's the one that stopped the dude, the violent dude,
Yeah, he did have
the
his eyes
green,
covers, but
the
like
pink hair.
After
the pink
you,
hair
yes, okay,
from hitting the pink hair.
yes,
Yeah,
he's IQ, something like that. I think. Yeah,
yeah, the one that said, "Hey, just earn our trust," you know, like
yeah.
show us that
So
you're good.
I really love how Sai went in there. It's like y'all are trash, right? He's like
That's what I mean.
nonchalantly, just like y'all are trash. You all don't deserve my passes, right? And basically, freaking forward was like, we all play in the Japanese league, top division in the Japanese league.
Mm.
We're pros. What are you? What you think you're hot shit because you're like in the academy for for Real Madrid, And he's like, listen here, I'm not here, like I'm not here to like mess around. He's like, you're probably just gonna stay there.
Yeah, well, they're aiming small for him because he wants to be the best in the world.
Yes, he
Like
says you'll
number
play.
one, not in Japan, but in the world. You know.
Yes, exactly. So he's like, you're thinking too
So,
small for me, right? He's like,
so
you're
for him, it's like too small.
yeah, because he's like, you guys are just gonna marry a model, live a pleasant life, playing in a trash league. Meanwhile, I'm over here gonna try to be the best in the world. It's like we are not the same, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, I mean, Shido. We did
Yeah.
say that Shido got stopped by the guy, but Shido did kick a guy. Once again, this is why they had him in those locks. They they
Yeah,
should
I
have.
mean, I know why, but like that's crazy. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy to have that for like a football anime, but like, damn,
Exactly.
you know,
And it was scary, like when he was like four eyes, like when he was being held up, and he's like, "Let me out of here!" Like, and he like give his, and they had like a close up on his eyes, like,
yeah,
that was
and
scary, bro.
that was like, damn, dude. And Sai just walked up there like nonchalantly, like, yes, you you will be the one, right? It's like he's like, I'm gonna basically Sai told him like, I'm gonna tame you, basically. So, with 15 days, like 2 weeks left for it, they're learning about how to get into the flow, right? Which is what Isagi went into to like surpass Ren and Shido for that one.
Oh yeah, that was very interesting. The whole book,
Yeah, so basically they just have to aim for something, but there has to be like a
and like
balance.
focus on it.
Yes, but there has to be a balance between challenge, like it has to be challenging, but at the same time within their ability to meet the challenge. So it's pretty interesting how they went about it, right? And I enjoyed the little explanation, and also like how Isagi's kind of like, all right, so I just need to do this to re-enter that state, right? So he's kind of like piecing together like, okay, this is my next step. If I want to like take the world, I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I need to be able to do to move on.
Correct.
So I like that. And Ego just gives some of the best speeches, ever.
Yes, he does.
And it's even like it's funny that every time he gives like some of the best speeches, he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is like your second time meeting me in person, like shit, diamonds in the rough for sure."
Diamonds in the rough.
Yeah. Oh, I
Oh,
guess
ego.
I guess we can talk a little bit about like the Ren and Isagi moment that happened. Ren's like mad as fuck that his brother didn't choose him, so he's like, "Thank you for making me the leader, so I can crush him finally, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like kind
Yeah.
of overtraining, and Isagi's like offering him a drink, and it's kind of like, I need you at your best so that we don't lose, right?
That's right. It is awesome that his competition got picked by his brother. I think it does give him some sort of drive and wanting to go harder.
I mean, now he has like the two people that, well, one that's kinda his equal, that's working with his brother, and his brother that acknowledged that person as being the better forward than Ren, you know.
Hmm.
So
Yep. Can't wait. Can't wait to see them play.
me
Really, and
neither.
get to know the Japanese best. You know.
Yeah, they were like
So.
briefly, what do you say, like presented. I think there was like a small PV that presented the team. Uh,
Oh yeah, definitely small.
so it didn't
Small.
look too good either. So
Mhm.
you know, let's see how it goes. You know, obviously,
Mhm.
I love.
It's just the beginning
Yeah, I
of this
love.
little arc. Uh huh.
Yeah, I love the characters. So like, this is still entertaining to me, just because the characters alone
Mhm.
make it entertaining. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Agreed.
that's all I have on
That's
Blue.
all I have to.
All right, on
And
to the
wait for
next one. Dandadan.
hijab.
Yeah,
So we're gonna talk about Dandadan. All right.
yeah. So
Always love
go
the
go ahead. You
the
start it
intro
off.
song.
Mm-hmm.
So, so never skipping that. And then it's really cute. This it's a very I want to say school day episode.
Slice of
So
life. Yeah.
yeah, we see that they're him more than her at the beginning being awkward about greeting each other first thing in the morning or if even staying friends throughout the school, right?
Yes.
And I like that at the beginning she was so strong will and up in his face.
Yep.
But throughout the 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 day, yeah. So so she's all excited about talking to him about weird facts about aliens, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just happy for having a friend to talk to. So,
Well, not
hmm
only that, but he also wants to talk to her, but he wants to talk to her about spirits now, right? So it's kind of like they both got each other into what they like,
the other one, yeah,
and you even saw like Okurun was like drawing like the crab spirit
hmm
that they just went up against, you know.
defeated, yeah.
So it's really nice. Also, like, you know, it's kind of like a good way to like ease into things, right? We just got out of the like the first major like battle, let's say, right? Or like a
Yes,
not just first, like a consecutive like gauntlet of battles, basically, right? So
correct.
now it's kind of like this slice of life is kind of needed, and you know, I do think that Momo's definitely been more the aggressive one, right? You know, like the more assertive one, the one that like makes Okarun like, you know, react, because Okarun is
Definitely.
very much not very reactive. Like obviously
hmm
he saw Momo
He
was waiting.
stays to
He's
himself. Yeah, he keeps to himself
yeah, and like
a lot.
Momo says like he always thinks of the worst, right? Instead of like trying to figure out
Yeah,
what's going on, you know. And it's kind of like that again, because when he sees her like standing there waiting for him, he thinks to himself, "Oh, it's probably not me. It's probably just somebody else, right?" But it was clearly him, you know.
clearly.
Yeah.
But,
And well, you know, now that they're like in separate class, so like they're only like real time to like really talk before like during school. It's like during
yes,
lunch.
that
So
was that was a thing there happening, right? But
yeah,
because they're in different class and different group of friends or different in
yes. I
I don't
just
know high school status, you can even fucking say it.
yep.
Um, they were having a hard time finding each other, and they were looking for each other. They were
Yeah,
really missing each other.
by like the hair of the tooth, right?
Yeah.
Hair of tooth. It's like I love that Momo goes into his class just like, "Where's Sokarun?" Right, and everybody's like, "We don't know who."
Nobody knows.
It's like nobody knows who Sokarun is. It's like nobody goes by that name, and she's like, "Okay, the boy with glasses." Also, like, okay, be more specific. The
Right.
occult
I
boy.
like that. I like that he goes to her looking for her, and he's like, "Is me Sayane here?" And the dude is like, "Dude, speak louder. Like nobody can fucking hear you."
Yeah. Uh,
like,
um.
like, damn.
But yeah, they just like keep missing each other. They go to lunch, cafeteria, then to the store outside, and then they're like, I just love how like whenever you see them, they're all having like their own little monologue. Like Okarun's kind of
They're like
like,
next to each other,
yeah, right next
and
to each
like,
other. Just
and it's still like when one's looking up, the other was looking down. Like,
yep,
couldn't they couldn't be more unsync together, you know?
yep,
It
yeah,
was cute.
yeah. Like Okarun just feels like he's annoyed her, and I think like in a way like Momo was kind of like reflecting on how she was interacting with him in the morning.
She,
She's kind of like, maybe I came too strong, and I didn't really
mm-hmm.
figure out how he's feeling about this whole thing, right? And Okurun's more so like the one that's like, maybe I did annoy her. But they did end up running into each other at the end, right? And they kind of smushed a bit, right? A small little peck, teeth
Yeah,
and all.
it just happens that her friends
Yeah, her
did
friend.
see that.
Yeah,
Mm,
they always end up
Fun
they always end up
seeds of
seeing.
it.
Yeah, and they're both obviously very flustered that they kind of kissed accidentally, right? Not necessarily like um what they thought their first kiss was gonna be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the friends obviously being there, and they're like trying to spread rumors, like both of them pretty much like fight again, and then they reject each other once more, right? And Okarun like goes to the bathroom. Miss Momo goes to the class, and Okarun notices something's missing, and he tries to go tell Momo like what's happened, and she's kind of like standoffish, like uh, like get out of here, you weirdo, completely rejecting Okarun, and Okarun just kind of like, damn, like feeling defeated, like is it really that embarrassing to like be seen with me, right? Kind of like,
Very dramatic, but
I mean, you gotta like, I feel for Okarun because obviously like in his mind, this is the one person he can fight, and they make up, and then they're like good, so like it's his true friend that he's kind of trying to rely on, and she's just kind of like, yeah, no, get away,
mm-hmm.
you're
She
weird.
was really being really mean though.
Yeah, she was. And
She was. I'm glad her friends call her out on it. They
yes,
were like, even if it's true that you guys are like not friends or not going out, you're going too far. Like
yeah,
that was like good.
yeah, but that the fight did not stay very long because she notices Okurun's with another girl, right? And she's like all up on him, sweet talking him. So he's kind of like, she
Oh yeah,
was,
he bumped into another girl.
yep. And she was kind of like, well, sweet talk. She sweet talked Okurun, and then Momo like catches her like as she's talking to her friends, and it's like the complete opposite, right? She's just like, it was kind
Mm-hmm.
of like she was pitying Okurun because he's such a weirdo, and that like saying like kind of like this is probably the best day of his life because like he's never gonna be with another cute girl like me and whatnot, right? And
Bunch of bullshit.
yeah,
Well, it was kind of nice for her to see that because that's exactly how she was sounding.
yeah,
So,
because it she did act on jealousy a bit though, right? Jealousy and kind of like a bit of
Yeah,
anger that her friend was being made fun of behind his back, which
for
you know,
sure.
so she took it upon herself to like have some things like something fall on her, you know, and then she went and made up with Okarun and it's kind of like let's go and grabbed him by the arm and it's like you don't want something to fall on your head, kind of like poking fun at her, like yeah I did that, bitch. What you gonna do about it? And she does
Yeah,
apologize. She apologizes to Okarun in the end, and
glad that yeah, glad that helps them, make up. So.
yeah, and she did explain to him like she was just like flustered because of the accidental kiss and the stuff that was happening with her friends and stuff. So, but
And of course, after he tells her what he was looking her for, right? She
yeah,
couldn't stop laughing about
yes.
that
You
fucking
want to
bitch.
tell the people why that what Okarun's
Oh my
missing?
goodness. He fucking misses balls. Like he really is though in in the general idea too, but
Yep.
also physically apparently. Which brings us to why, right? In the
And why the granny wanted
grandma.
wanted to see his penis the last episode to make sure he wasn't cursed, which he was because Turbo Granny managed to escape the exorcism by hiding in Okarun.
Uh-huh.
So
Hiding it all. But then after this whole split of what the grandma did, the granny ends up being this cat, like
yeah, Turbo Granny's the cat.
classic, yeah. Which is neat because we have seen this cat throughout the intro too, and
Yes,
the
the
opening song and
the outro.
closing song. So we finally see the connection, and it's nice that there is a connection.
Yes,
And
I like though that
so. Mhm.
that this time around, Turbo Granny has no spirit powers. All of it is left within Okarun, which
Mm-hmm.
they do agree to give it back to her after they get his balls back.
Which she really seems to not even be able to. So they're really kind
Well,
of stuck. It's what it seems to be like stuck like this for a bit.
yeah, because she dropped them somewhere.
Stupid. Yeah.
uh, okay, but now, how do you feel about the upgraded transformation of Okarun?
It was legit. I like it. Good for him. Maybe it'll help him get some confidence and
Yeah, I mean it's just supposed to enhance his overall like demeanor or like his overall like
Mm-hmm.
emotion, but he does look cool. He no longer has that face mask thing, but it seems that he's able to access it on his own, which is the new kind of thing, right? He just has to figure out how to access it because he did it accidentally. But if he can learn to access it by himself, he Momo won't have to worry about keeping him in check anymore because the granny separated from the
Mm-hmm.
powers. You know, but yeah, I just want to say it's so funny to me uh watching this and sub because the cat is literally Luffy from One Piece. So I just hear him whine and I'm just like, damn, you know,
Yeah,
the instant connection. I'm just like, oh my god, okay.
definitely.
But yeah, I'm excited for you to see this big ball chase. You know, uh,
Yeah.
so just to give you an idea of how long this is, this is probably gonna carry over multiple seasons because it just it is not as simple as it sounds,
Mm,
and
right.
that's about it. All I'll say on it, but yeah, how funny though. First it was his dick, and now it's his balls.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was all his thing, right? And like the granny said,
Mm-hmm.
he just didn't pay attention. Like, how did you not realize? But
Yeah.
it's not because it's that big. It's probably like a pencil.
Yep. uh,
I know.
God, that
No,
laugh
my
from Momo
granny's
was
good.
hilarious though. She's just
I
wrong.
know. She was just rolling on the floor,
Yeah.
literally. That was good.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for you to meet the other characters that are coming.
Yeah, well, we kind of met one,
Two.
although she's been having the pink hair
The pink hair girls is gonna this one and the the cat, the turbo granny and the cat dog.
and yeah, and
So
the turbo granny in the cat
yep,
shape. Yeah.
yep. But yeah, that's all I have on this
Me
one.
too.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Hey,
Done.
Jab,
Done
the
much?
munchie time.
Yes.
So
I want to
let's
say.
talk about it. Mm-hmm.
I want to say before we get on this. For me, this was like the my favorite episode of Danmachi so far.
No way you like this episode.
Yes.
It's a little bit intense
I
on a
like.
certain level, don't you think, for you to like this episode? But I guess.
I mean, I just feel like this is.
Oh,
I said this is the best episode. I didn't say I like this episode. I said this is the best episode that we've got.
I see. I see. I see. I see what you mean.
Like,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
but
No, it was very intense.
so we finally get the whole thing of Freya and Seer just like rehash to us. You know how
And
whenever.
Hestia, right? And Hestia being in
Yeah.
the known, which I think is a crucial part since Hestia
Well,
deeply
she
cares
wasn't.
about Belle.
She didn't really know, no, but she had a.
No, no, no. But she was, having a good suspicion.
Yeah, she had a good
She
suspicion.
was, yeah, like her assumptions were really getting already. It was like the truth, even though there were assumptions. It was the truth. So,
Yes,
and
exactly.
she got confirmed. So,
Yeah, I love how Freya was just kind of like, this kind of thing would be known as like role playing. Like she was just role playing a character, that like to try to get Belle. And now that this is no longer gonna
I
work.
know. I
That-
know, right? That was intense.
And
She really and it was, and I like that is when Kessia kind of called her out on it, right?
yeah,
Like, and you call yourself the goddess of love, and she's like, I did try.
yeah,
I tried the nice, good, innocent, pure, light way,
yep.
Didn't work out. So,
So now I'm gonna take it by force. And
and I'm God. I'm a
I think this
god.
is
So,
so good because like her specifically, she even admits herself that she did not mind like this like normal life, right? Where she had work
hmm
and stuff. She didn't mind it at all. So it's interesting to see that, and also now she's like forcefully going after everybody. So it like she even says
yeah.
herself like like Belle like completely changed her like in a way, right? Because if it wasn't for Belle,
hmm
she wouldn't have.
hmm Yeah, she really, she's something.
Yeah,
She's some. I like the Hermes comes in, right? Because he's always got like a good feeling about things, right?
yeah. I feel
He's,
like
he's always,
he's always like thinking ahead and stuff.
yeah.
And I guess we'll talk a little bit about the hermit and how he kind of made it I don't want to say better, but kind of give Hestia like the best option, right, for what's about to happen.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't because he worked out the deal to like have Bell wait, which we just found out that once they make like a contract, they have to like hold it for like a year before they can be converted into another family essentially, right? So like, and Bell's only
Yeah.
been with Hestia for like 6 months plus at this point.
That's crazy thinking that
You know,
how many years we've been watching this.
yeah, and it's just been 6 months, and how fast he's grown, by the way, in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's like wow, really puts into perspective, and
Yeah, I did.
And like, so basically the way Freya is gonna go about like getting Belle to her is through this. She had like a backup plan to make it like basically make Belle convert, even like, or make it more likely for him to convert, right? And it was due to her power, which does not work on Belle. We found out that her power does not work on Belle for some reason, and I'm willing to bet it's just because he already has his eyes on ice, right? I feel like that's the reason why he Freya's power doesn't really work on him, or maybe it could just be because he's an actual descendant of the hero that is in this
Thought
town.
it was because
You know?
he had rejected her.
Yeah.
And itself, not in herself, he has like repelled himself from her charm. That's what
Yes.
I think.
Okay.
And I can think the fact that she tried to calculatively, and give him the option to. I think because hopefully they tell us, right? Like hopefully we know the real reason. Like we we're told more clearly the real reason. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe we will, but no, it was crazy. Like when they went after the other Hestia family members, right?
Mhm.
Like they started breaking body parts. You know,
Mhm.
attacking
They
from.
were being savages for real.
Yeah. I just keeping him barely alive. I want to say, right, or like knocked out and alive. It was crazy. Like you just saw that when they like brought all the weapons over, and it's like, all right, you're either gonna. It was rough because Hestia had to like choose Bale or the rest of the family, right? Or like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, her little kids.
yeah. So it's like you have a choice. You can hand over Bale, or I start killing your children till you hand over Bale.
Mhm.
So in that way, Freya family is very. I can see why like everybody kind of avoids the Freya family now.
Mhm.
Even Bell, like poor Bell, like after rejecting Freya, he didn't even allow like Ice to like kind of console him. He just kind of like wanted to be left on his own. And
Mhm.
you know, even I guess only Ryu really like went to him because they were like looking for Seer, not knowing that Seer was Freya, right? But damn, the
I like the little moment that it happened with the elf girl. What's her name again?
who?
Um, the elf girl. Um,
Yeah, Ryu.
oh yeah, Rio. I like that moment
Hmm.
with Belle of her like saying, "How could you reject her?"
Oh yeah, that was
And
rough.
then he kind of like explains himself, right?
Yeah, because
And
he
then she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize that you will have your own perspective and your own reasons,
yeah, like
and that
she
will make sense of,
yeah, because they're all worried about like their love for Belle. They never considered if Belle had like anybody he actually cared about or like loved, right?
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
kind of like opened her eyes, and which kind of sucks because she probably realizes she has a thing for Belle, and it's kind of like now she's probably coming to a realization that she can never like get that reciprocated anyway. So now it'll be like interesting if she ever like tells him or just like keeps it to herself.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
yeah, so Hermes was kind of like, all right, she's up to something. Freya's up to something, and he realizes
Yes.
she was gonna use her charm and made a backup plan, kind of like wrote down some notes. It's like you can't give this to me after a certain point, right? But don't do it right away. And basically told Hestia like, you're the. I guess Hestia's power is kind of like also probably how Belle like resisted it. if if maybe he gets like a little bit of Hestia's like power that also rejected the charm from Freya.
Mhm.
But that charm was kind of nasty work because it rewrote everybody's memories that wasn't in the Freya family to make Belle to make everybody.
No, it's
Go.
basically how everybody in the Freya family needs to be brainwashed per se because they would just follow her, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I feel so bad for Belle,
yeah,
to be honest with you, because like
his whole identity just got ripped away from him.
I not just that, but like going around and just being looked at that way or
Looked different, like
told things like that when you know better or something. It's just really, really, really fucked. Like how
I
how
mean,
do you cope with that? How do you even deal with that?
yeah, it's hard because like these are old people he's worked for us like four seasons to build like connections with, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're
Mm,
from the Freya family, we can't even like talk to you, right? It's like, or we don't want any trouble,
I know.
like just leave us be, take our money, you know. So it is, it was. I mean, what really hurt the most was like when he went up to Hestia, and Hestia knew that she couldn't say that.
That did hurt.
Yeah, that hurt. So, and then like you could see it in Belle's expression, kind of like it's like it broke him almost, like I feel like Hestia denying him really took a toll, really broke him into, like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be interesting seeing how he recovers from this, but like man, I would not want to be in Belle's shoes, especially with like the only other people that know about this, right? All act like
Mm-hmm.
it, like Belle is part of the Freya family. So yeah,
Sucky. Sucky, sucky.
and it also like paint.
Sucks. But
It also paint
hmm?
Hestia a bit. I want to say like she even like you could feel it like it hurt her to say that, but like she knew she had to do it.
She does. She knows who she's dealing with.
Yep,
So
man, it sucked because at first they're like, damn, we have like 6 months to prepare, you know. But now it's like, damn,
hmm.
what are what's to prepare for if you don't even know the actual truth, right? But yeah,
It just doesn't go with him though, either. The Hestia family.
yeah,
Just yeah.
it definitely
Like
feels.
that awkward group of his is what really goes with him.
Yeah,
So
it truly does. But you got anything else you want to say on this one?
no, no, no. I'm glad that we know the stage has been set in a way, you know?
Yep, quite heartbreaking stage for sure.
Correct.
But yeah, okay. Well, that's that for this one. On to the next one.
Zero.
ReZero. All right. So we kick off ReZero where we left off with Greed and Amelia, and
Mhm.
we find out,
Him setting out the rules of his marriage per se.
yeah.
He's
So
got to be a virgin, and she obviously, by asking what a virgin is the answer, to him. So,
yeah, and not only that, of course he's Greed, so he has like over 180 wives, or something like that, right? So
correct.
Amelia's gonna be like wife like 78 something, you know. That's what he's gonna call her, like 79 or something like that. So, and it seems like he you shouldn't make him angry because he's very strict. He seems like he has them on a tight leash and just how he wants them, submissive towards them and stuff. And then we get a little clash, with Subaru and Gluttony. You know,
Gluttony, but he kind of like knows what to do, strategizes that he needs to leave that battle.
yeah,
Just to face another
yeah. I mean,
losing battle.
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah. It wasn't really him. It was more so Julius that kind of like lets him know, I got this. You got other things to worry about, right? Because I think they're trying to like save the hostages and stuff. So now they're like going and they meet Lust. Or first of all, they meet this little girl who they think is one of the hostages, and she leads them to the mosquito room. Where the hostages were turned into mosquitoes. How'd you feel about the giant ass mosquitoes?
ugh, nasty. That was nasty. I mean, not. Yeah. Seemed like she was a monster.
Yeah, she was a monster,
Mm,
and she was also able to transform into a bunch of other things as long as they were like women. I think they had to be like women, and she could transform into them or grow body parts that resemble like snakes and other creatures. And it
yeah.
works on like animals and also like humans. And I think the dragon was once a human as well. And her power is like really interesting because I think she says it's derived from like the dragon blood. So it like if like too much is fed to like other people, like it could cause like serious harm to them too. But man, like first of all, like Crush once again. I don't know. Poor girl just also cannot take a break, taking another L to a bishop, and Subaru was like on the verge of like mentally breaking. I feel like, right.
Yeah. Silver is sometimes that just gets me so frustrated with ReZero. He's just fucking having a meltdown breakout for like the good part of or most of the episode.
Yeah, because she
So,
Luz turns into Amelia, right, and oh boy, she like
and I mean, and the his friend is like totally like unconscious for
yeah
most of it,
getting stepped on and stuff.
and getting stepped on.
Yeah, man, like Subaru's just if it's not like a physical pain, it's always gonna be like a mental like struggle with them. Like
Mm-hmm.
poor poor fellow does not take a break. Um, she does like fight him a bit, like and chops up one of like Subaru's legs, and my God, he is bleeding to death. Like
Yeah.
poor fellow. And as she's like explaining to him about like the blood and stuff of her own, right, and how she turned everybody into mosquitoes, she's kind of like, I wonder like what will cave in first, right? Whether you'll transform or if you'll die from losing blood. And
Right.
and then she taunts him with like uh, pouring some of her blood on Crush first, right? So
Yeah.
so is
We're gonna see what that really does, or
yeah
what happens then. No, they got
they're cursed now practically.
yes.
But you know I love that this episode does not just like let us focus on like how what a horrible situation Subaru is in. We also get like update on the Reinhardt and his father's situation. And Oto's alive. Our good boy Oto. I thought he was done for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad.
Glad how he comes in with the bugs,
Yes, he does.
but
And
but he's coming through with he's coming through. So
I mean, he's wingman. So he just has to really be on his A game. Always saving the day. And even like Reinhardt kind of like realizes he's like Subaru's friend, right? And it's kind of like, you know, what happened and stuff. So like they catch him up, he catches him up, and Felt is kind of like, okay, you have to go. They need you, It's like I'll be able to handle this drunk by myself. And if not, like she has Salto right there. So I think between the two of them, they'll be fine.
yeah, yeah. I mean, some they have to put you pull through one way or another. So we'll see how that happens.
I mean,
I like that Emilia and the girl are sort of getting along. Um,
yeah, she's kind of
she
teaching him the
seems to
ropes.
be, yeah, she exactly. She seems to be friendly enough with her and helpful. So
Yeah, although I do want to say like she just looks completely deployed of life. Like she looks like she's just there, not really living. Whereas Emilia still has like all her emotions attacked, so it's kind of like a nice comparison of like what could be, what could end up happening to Emilia, like if Subaru doesn't get to get her back.
hmm
But we get more of the other bishops also. Like we see Wrath again, and she's attacking Anastasia, you know, and the
yeah,
the little cats are there fighting her off, trying to give her enough space to like leave and stuff. And Garfield and the other squad there is also like fighting as well, doing their
hmm
best. And somehow like one of the gates opens and like the town starts becoming flooded. And Subaru somehow also just, the one dragon that they went in there to chase, uh that was a person, also kind of makes Subaru escape and dumps him in the water. So now we have Subaru without a leg, bleeding to death, has dragon blood like coursing through him, so he's getting cursed. And now he's drowning, you know? Three possible deaths for Subaru.
yeah. Well, we're just seeing them getting beat up. So, oh, we also see a little bit of the fight with the old man too, and Garfield, and
Yes.
that Garfield does notice Boss
Yeah, he does.
getting thrown. So,
Maybe Garfield will save him.
yeah, exactly.
But other than that, because of their little interference, Lust is not too happy about it, so now she's asking for like a few other demands, you know? Mainly one of them
Yeah,
being also like Emilia, you know? And
yeah,
and then the Tomb of Wisdom, whatever that entails.
yeah. They didn't catch the other one.
There, yeah, there,
So,
there was three, but the other one kind of escaped me too. But no, yeah, these people mean serious business. We can see
that's-
how strong they are. We can see what psychological damage they're pushing on Subaru constantly. I feel like he's never getting a mental break this season.
mhm.
And and to top it all off, like his girl's not his his girl. Well, yeah, his daughter's out of commission. You know, Ugh.
Yeah.
Beatrice is out of commission. It's not looking good for Subaru. And hopefully, with Reinhardt getting there, they might be able to like push back something, because he is the strongest in the burst as far as we know.
Yes, first we know.
But yeah, I think that's all I really wanna say about it. Like ReZero, you.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, on to the next one. Orb on the movements of the Earth.
Yes.
So we finally meet. Well, we finally get a more clear meeting of the guy in the opening. With the eye patch and
Yeah, the
cuts all over and stuff.
the
Mm.
the
This,
religious guy that is into astrology, which is like a taboo there seems like to be.
well,
So,
not only that, I think this guy's kind of like crazy, right? We do get his backstory, which is kind of like he
mhm,
he has been like progressing in his work, right? Tremendously to the point
mhm.
where like they have to tell him you gotta slow down, right? You gotta you're doing way too much. Yeah. So he's like, well, I'm a genius, so like, why should I bother like, slowing down for the rest of the people that need to catch up to me? But
So, certainly.
at the same time, he was kind of like he already saw like the limits of the learnings that they were teaching, right? And he figured, like the way we learn about how the world works right now, right? It doesn't make sense because it seems like they're making moving backwards, right? Once they reach a certain point through certain planets, right, or Mars, and he figured that if this world is really perfect, like it shouldn't be moving like this, right? It's like so maybe if like he's like if I'm allowed to study like some of the other stuff from the heretics, maybe it'll give us a better understanding of the world, right? Because his whole thing was that God created perfection, and he just wanted to use the works to prove that God was right all along, right? Not necessarily that the teachings were wrong, but that the creation of the world was correct or something like that, right?
Um, I was just really intrigued by the fact that this man rapidly and quickly made the guy be able to look back at the sky, and I feel like that's that something's gonna come from that, that he's he's able to look back to the star. um I
Well,
like that he really had to in a way negotiate with him on convincing him to actually go see the materials, the 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 treasures or the things,
yep.
and that negotiation really came to be interesting. I really thought it was um good in both parts on how they are different from the unusual already. Like,
Y-
and what I mean is, we already met the people that study astrology and how they become kind of sneaky. Like they were, I don't maybe intelligence scholars or recognized scholars, and then they went into that kind of like path or something. Um, and then we see this kind of peasant, not really peasant, but like a very a person that cannot even read.
yeah.
It's the one that holds all the material. It's the one that ended up having, you know, the duty to pass on this materials, and he knows that that's what he is to do. So when he is negotiating with this person doesn't see him as such, he sees him as, okay, you have to be one of the people, scholars that studies this, or else how are you involved in all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting on how
He
both are the exception of the rule to already the exception, and then him obviously being religious and researching about it, like that's already like um exception to the rule. And then this dude, it's even more um exception to the rule because he's so, like you said, he's so like intense, like, and then the way that he negotiated with this guy, it was intense as well, to the point that he managed to make him look at the sky with no ifs or ands or buts,
Yeah, I mean, it
so
was he kind of wanted to test his resolve essentially too, right? He wanted to make sure that he was a, he basically wanted to make sure he was the right person to be pursuing this as well, right? Because if he didn't go and look at it, then it would be kind of like pointless to try and recruit the clergyman, right? Like, because the clergyman said like to him like, I'm not gonna waste my time on for nothing, right? Like I got better things to do, right? So he's like, I want to. If you're gonna better show me something that's gonna change my entire life, then I might hear you about it. But like he's like, I also want to make. He also wanted to make sure he was real about it too.
Mhm.
And we do find out that the reason why he has the fucking eye patch is because they melted wax on his
Mhm.
eyes, both his eyes, and like only one of
Yeah.
them survived. Luckily, because
Yeah.
his dumbass read a forbidden book after he was told, you shouldn't do that, or I'm gonna have to burn your eyes, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But obviously, his greed for knowledge was too much, and he did put Oxy to like the test, and Oxy did, he did come back and prove that he did mean to go and see him, and that it could possibly like change his world, right? So when they did go to the tomb, right, it was not only life changing for the clergy person, but also like he realized, with all this, it's not just gonna change my life, it's like this changes the entire universe, right? And then they go and he's like, this they find out the theory as to why the Mars seems to be going backwards is because, as they basically what we know now, right, with the sun being the center of the solar system and Mars and Earth moving around it, but obviously Earth being a lot, or like one of them being a lot closer. It was it made it seem like Mars was heading backwards in their view, right? And they even did that like little test subject around a stake to prove that point. So it was nice visually for us to like see it, and also like a good way to explain the whole theory.
Yeah. It
And
was very good episode.
yeah, I do. And like you said, like their philosophies were kind of like far from each other, right? Like Ox, Oxy was the one that he felt like this world was rotten, and you know the clergyman was kind of just like, the reason why it seems that the stars are beautiful is just because it's a reflection of how this world is, right? So that's kind of like the lesson that Oxy's kind of learning, that both the stars and this planet are kind of like beautiful, and it can't be that one has to be rotten for the other to be beautiful, right? They both can be beautiful, and that's what the stars reflect, the beauty of the world. So
Certainly.
yeah, it was so good. Different, such a different anime for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
obviously like me and you've been saying, this is just stuff that in today we already take for granted of us knowing, but this is something that had to be proven somehow in the past, and we're slowly finding out how they're doing it in this anime. And even the clergyman was kind of like, he could take the research, and he found the right person. They could probably publish the theory as well, but
Yeah.
it would it would have to be uh really discreet, because obviously the clergyman has like one more chance. Like, if he fucks up, he's dead, and Oxy's already considered a traitor for releasing the or being responsible for the heretic. Like
Yeah.
dying early. Um, yeah, that's about all I got on
That's
this one.
about it for that episode.
All right, let's move on to another one. So, Yakuza Fiance, we got 2 episodes, and
Mm-hmm.
we should probably start with episode 4. The meeting of the fated love triangle.
Yes,
Mm,
so we definitely got the boys meeting each other,
yes, and
and
what I love about them meeting is that they each have like their own perspective on each other. Obviously, Shoma has a perspective on Kirishima because of everything Yoshino has told him,
yeah.
and Kirishima obviously just being the ever protective or stalkerish boyfriend, knows way too much already about Shoma,
Yeah, definitely.
and then just kind of like, you know talking it down. They don't want any problems. Shoma does want Yoshino back, right? Basically,
Hmm.
and Kirishima wants to marry her. So there's definitely they both definitely want Yoshino for separate reasons. And also, Kirishima kind of figured that Shoma was like, I guess, the one of the connections that Yoshino had, right, to her getting her kidney stolen, right? Um,
Yeah, seems like he's on the research about that. He's
yeah,
really like trying to figure it out.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean the boys meet, they both have their moments. I like that she's seeing him off and he's definitely stalking her.
yeah.
Uh,
She thought she got
and
she lost him. She thought she lost
yeah,
Kirishima for sure.
yeah, she really thought. And then I like that he tried to be sneaky or something when pointing at her after that question. Like,
Oh yeah, because he was basically like telling her, she asked him like, if I'm not gonna risk my life for my own pride and stuff, like, you know then
yeah,
what for, right? And then he's like, so she asked him like, who what would you risk your pride and stuff for, right? And he pointed at her,
hmm,
and it was kind of like a sort of like pointing at her, but also
yep,
kind of like letting Kirishima know, I see you, right? This
hmm,
So even more,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah, it was even more crazy because it was like, he was kind of like, okay, well, you had this bug in your hair. I just wanted to get it,
Yeah.
kind of playing it off, but like, yeah, Kirishima is like seeming real stalkish, right? And obviously Shoma finds it kind of
Mhm.
dangerous, right? That he's
Mhm.
like this, but he respects Yoshino enough to be like, okay, I know you can handle yourself, so I'll let you do it, but I'm here for you, right? And they leave, and then the next day happens, and you know she they're like in a train, I believe, heading to school or something, right? And they're kind of like stuck together, but like Yoshino's like turned turns her back against Kirishima, and she could just feel, right, that when she brought up Shoma, Kirishima's just entire like demeanor changed. Like she felt like it was definitely like jealousy out of Kirishima, but it felt kind of like murderous intent at times, right? So she kind of felt that whenever she mentioned Shoma around Kirishima.
Yeah, that was interesting. I like that she really can read him.
Yeah, I'm really like liking how well she's able to read him, especially,
Mhm.
right? Because first of all, like in the first episode, she was just complete like like uh, dumb about him, right? Like not even like realizing anything. Like she saw things but didn't really put piece things together, and now she's kind of like she's spending more time with him, obviously because one, he's kind of stalking her, right? And the second, just noticing a lot of his actions when it comes towards her now, right? And trying to like not necessarily taking him for granted, but just like really thinking about why he's doing things, right? So that I think that's really good. That's so good way to look like show slow progression and her understanding him, but also like making sure he's more understanding of her at the same time, right? And it got really crazy, right? Because she was like, you kind of need to knock it off, right? You can't have this like murderous intent whenever like I bring up Shoma, right? It's like, what are you, like, jealous, right? He's like, oh shit, maybe you're right, that's what it is. And
That
what was that?
she is like we were saying, she's good at telling what's, what he's doing, his emotion.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting that he was like, asking her like, I wouldn't mind if you dated him, right? Or like he was telling her like, I wouldn't mind if you dated him, but you just don't do it behind my back, and everything you do, you have to do in front
Oh
of
my God, that
me.
was so gross, but yeah.
He's like, everything you do, you have to do in front of me, so like I can kill him afterwards, right? So
Mhm.
he's like, you can kiss him, you can go go have sex with him, but I'm killing him after, right? And meanwhile, she knows that he has like, I thought that was interesting because he knows that she knows that he has side women on right. He has women on the side, just casually.
Yeah, all his woman's on the side. Yeah, she knows
But
about
the moment like she if she was to decide to get somebody on the side for herself, like he would not be able to handle that properly.
it. Yeah.
And I just love the way Yoshino like carries the conversations forward, right? Because Hiroshima kind of like, I'll become whatever man you need, right? It's like, and she was like, it's like, you don't have to be the perfect guy, right? It's like you don't even have to say the right things all the time. It's like you you just have to be your normal crazy self, right? He's like, I don't, because otherwise I'm just gonna find you boring if you're perfect, right?
Mhm.
And that kind of goes in hand with like how he is towards her, where he doesn't want her to be just this boring girl that doesn't really challenge him or and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really touching moment. They like see eye to eye, and then I think episode the episode starts getting towards the end when she starts getting sick. You know.
Yeah. And like they were getting to know her more side of life. Um, like we got to see her family friend or a family friend, and then the mistress cousin,
Yeah.
the daughter of the mistress cousin.
Well.
Um, that was really really legit. Um, obviously the stalker's just there, because he's like stalking her.
Yep.
But I like that we get to see interactions with both private and as a group, right? So we switched to the cousin doing the move and seeing
Yeah. Episode
the,
5.
the new life, her new life, and how she's settling and her move,
Yeah.
So
I do like how
it,
they point out that she seemed like the modeled person for like her city, right? And that she gets around just like Kirishima gets around, right? And in that way, like Yoshino was kind of trying to like set them up so that in a way, right? She was like, she would be kind of perfect for you, actually.
yeah, I mean she's just funny at that point.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was really good. The conversations that they had on their own, how
yeah,
she was just like calling him out, and then he calls her out, like, I know that you're the one that helped her with the kidney, so you need to tell me
where it
what I need
is.
to know about it. Yeah. So so it's been interesting to see this new characters come into play and how they fit in both of our protagonists. I also like that this girl, what she says at the end, that she will make it impossible for him to find her, even if it takes her to do plastic surgery. He will spend his life searching for her, and never find her. If he
Yeah,
is to just be the lowest of the scum, and that will be at her discretion,
yeah,
as
because
her opinion.
yeah, it just shows kind of
And
like
then, uh-huh.
her like Yoshino and her connection, right? Because obviously you could tell right away that this cousin and Yoshino have a really good relationship, right? They're like
They do seem to it, and I
they
do like the trust that Joshino does say about that. When she finds out that they exchanged numbers,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
so.
they both
And
have
funny, we get to find out that they're just exchanging pictures.
yeah. Basically, Kirishima sends her pictures
So,
of his grandpa when he was young, and
mm-hmm,
she sends
mm-hmm,
him pictures of when she caught
mm-hmm.
Yoshino off guard and
Yeah,
stuff. You know,
yeah.
really cute, and but I do want to talk like a little bit about the way that they kind of like went, right? Because aside from like the fact that they were like sightseeing, right? It was more so like a showcase that Kirishima was super attentive when it came to Yoshino, right? But like at points it almost seemed kind of like intrusive to the point where he was the moment that the Tsubaki wanted to like change direction or change subjects or go to a different area, like Kirishima got the upper hand and said it before she did, and she started
Yeah.
noticing, right?
Yeah, he's manipulative. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. He's manipulative. Yeah,
yeah,
calculative. Yeah.
and she says it as much, like when it comes to Yoshino, you're super attentive, you're always knowing what to say, right? And it's like I hate those kind of people also, kind of, right? Like it's like I think you're like scum, but you're not complete scum, so I'm allowing you to be with her, right?
Mhm.
Eh. But yeah, it was crazy having her be like the connection to Yoshino getting her kidney removed, which
Mhm.
we found out the kidney
Didn't.
she didn't get removed. It was just that she got removed like $4 million dollars worth of blood,
Mhm.
like, and Kirishima was kind of like telling her like that could have been really dangerous. She could have died, right? And she was like, well, that was her choice.
That was the point.
Yep. But
Mhm.
the plan was to like get her kidney, but she didn't do it. And obviously Kirishima being part of the Yakuza, right, was kind of like noticed that the scar was way too small for a kidney removal. So not
Mhm.
so he had questions as to like what really occurred and stuff. But
That's right.
but yeah, this was a quite an episode. Like obviously we didn't really touch much upon like the when Yoshino was sick. Like I really want to talk about how Hiroshima kind of like took her to the hospital without her consent essentially, or like but for like her own benefit. And at the end we had he was talking to the grand to Joshina's grandpa, like they had a deal in place, right?
Mhm.
So we got things moving in the background that are not put at the forefront, which I like. There's obviously we knew there was some sort of thing happening obviously from episode one, having Yoshino move there, and the grandpa being so how do you say, like, adamant of her staying a year and then breaking his heart, right?
Mhm.
So there's definitely something that this guy did that the grandpa's kind of like had to make sort of a deal with, and Yoshino's just kind of like the pawn, I want to say, in whatever they conjured up. But yeah, I mean, the Tsubaki date in the Ferris wheel was interesting too. That's when all the crazy like actual talk happened. But
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's about it. We're Yakuza Fiance. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
I'm really.
I'm really glad. Like it's so extending the characters and they're just interesting.
Yeah, I love the.
A little bit similar to each other, but it's okay.
I mean, they're. I think the ones that everybody's just the one common thing I see is that they're all uh overprotective of Yoshino in just different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I do like how well the world is being connected with these characters. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Yoshima's kind of like the one that connects Yoshino.
Culture and the culture one
Yeah, exactly.
for
Uh,
to all of them. So
yep. Well,
and they're all shelter so.
yeah, I agree. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to continue watching this one. Obviously, every
Yeah.
Monday it's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a nice treat. Monday has like a
The
lot of.
girls, the dynamic. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Super good dynamics. All right. Well, that's it on this one. Should probably
Mm-hmm.
move on to the next one. TsumaSho episode 6.
My show. Oh my goodness.
So this is
So we get into an awkward, more like, yeah, I don't
uh,
know.
I mean, I don't think that any reincarnation show has ever had this kind of like drama in it, right? Because we just
Mm-hmm.
basically get a small recap of how the episode ended with Keisuke like confronting Chika, the mother of you know, Mariko,
The
or
mother, yeah, the mother confronting the kid about having a relationship with another family and being happy. Like
yeah,
she
and
was really offended.
yeah. I mean, she was obviously
And
hurt.
obviously,
She was hurt, and
as the husband saw that, he couldn't help but to intervene, and he even blew the cover, but the daughter shows up.
yeah, the daughter luckily showed
And
up, and he didn't blow the cover right away, right?
mm,
But yeah, no, Mai was really good. Like she basically stopped them and was like, this is
he did tell him some some things that resonate with her, right? Like you're just taking your frustration on your daughter.
yep,
This is not how you care for someone, right?
yeah, not how a
And
parent,
it really resonated with her because she started to remember that that was her life and how she swore to herself not to be like that,
yep,
which it's really interesting because we get to see her past
yes.
and 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 just how more fucked up it was than this girl's, right? Like compared to her mom, she is doing better, but still
I
not too
mean,
far.
just as far as like the physical abuse goes, because the the mother was kind of abusive towards Chica, right? Like physically, like she smacked her around. She stole her
Mm-hmm.
lunch money or like her money in total,
Mm-hmm.
right? And her like that woman was just like kind of like the worst, and you know even after like Chica left her, she was still we saw like in previous episodes that
Yeah,
she was
asking
still,
her for money.
yeah, still asking her for money and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Constantly.
it's definitely not, in a way, like you see like her own struggle. Like obviously there's a lot of outside factors that affect Chica, right? The mother of the reincarnated wife, right? uh
Mm-hmm.
like the work, the obvious betrayal when it comes to man, like you know leaving, cheating on her, or like not being truthful with her, and all that. Like she has like no outlet to like really, um nobody to really confide in, essentially, because she feels all alone, right? The only one that's really she really has is her daughter. But because she's a child, like obviously she doesn't know that she's reincarnated right now, right? So her only way to like kind of like cope is to fall back into how she grew up, and that was through jailing and like mental, kind of like almost mental abuse, right? But obviously she cares so much about her daughter. And we kind of find out that Kasuk and Mai were kind of like talking, and they didn't at first, they didn't want to get involved because they didn't want to really make it worse for Take, because they don't know the situation, they don't know anything that's happening. They just kind of have an inkling because of what Kasuk saw, right? But they also figured that at some point they might have to like tell Chica the truth, and Kasuk was the one that was more upfront about it. Like, we should really just say it, put it all out on the table. We're and handle this like adults. And
Yeah,
but
but it was her call. I mean, it's a very difficult call. I don't know if I would have made it myself,
I mean
but
they didn't make it, right. They waited till Take chose to make it.
no, no, no. Even as Take, I mean, like I
Oh
don't know if I would have made that call.
no, yeah,
Like I probably would have found another excuse, but I don't know. I don't know. Or I would have probably found um I would have probably said, "Hey, how about you see how we get along and then like you will see what we mean, like kind of thing." Like I don't know. Because when that was happening, I really thought to myself, in the real world, I feel like in reality, there's been instances that strangers adopt, abuse kids from people that they befriend.
yeah,
So it's not, crazy to feel like, hey, if you don't want your daughter, we need, we like her, we wouldn't mind fostering her, like adopting her. So,
yeah,
that's kind of where foster kids come from.
yeah. And
So,
I mean that is kind of like what they were gonna eventually do if like things kept getting worse, right? Because they do mention that. Well, not they. Kasuk mentions to Chica, like, I thought you, to be fair, like based on our first like encounter, I didn't think you were fit to be even a mother, right? It's like, so I
hmm
was about to like go through all the means necessary to take Take back, but because obviously she showed her true colors as a mother when Take was sick, right? Or she saw Take was sick, that he was like, you're actually a really good mother. So like, I won't do that, but just make sure you don't uh mistreat her like in any way, because if that happens, I will not hesitate to like take her away from you, right? And I love how Take was kind of handling the thing, right? Because bef- before she got sick and before anything else, right? She was defending the mother, right? Because she was like, you saw her and you made a conclusion based on one interaction you had with her, right?
hmm
And it's like you don't get the right to say whether she's a good mother or not, because you haven't really uh seen what she's gone through and seen all the sacrifices she makes, you know. So it was it was a good call on Take to put that on Kasuk, right? Obviously, her being a mother of her own, she knows the sacrifices and stuff that comes with being a mother. Not necessarily to the extreme that Chica has gone through, but like she understands, right, what it means to be a mother. So I like that. That was kind of like a perspective that was put in there, and also the fact that she was able to get a memory from like the Marika, the child that she inhabits, right?
when
And
she saw a picture.
yeah, when she saw the picture,
Yeah.
she couldn't stop crying, and then she got a in a dream, she remembered what happened, and it was like it was just, it felt so sad, man, because it was like this is what could have could have happened with the last guy that did Chico dirty, right? They were supposed to go to the park, right? Or and be like spending the time as kind of like a unit, and the park is also kind of like the one place that Chica never got to experience as a child. So the one way that she gets to experience that is through her child as well, right? So that was like the last time she smiled, I believe, right? So it was just really uh like hard, like hit me right in the heart, where with that whole thing. And we can probably talk about a little bit of the actual like meeting that took place with everybody involved and the truth coming out.
Yeah, they really had a meeting to see the truth about it, and
Which I think is good
I'm
because
really, yeah, I mean, it really, I mean, the woman definitely didn't believe that, but the fact that there were two adults and her daughter, um, really put her to, to consider it. Also, she definitely, it was asked, right, if she even noticed a change in her, so on her daughter, and it seems like she has, so
I mean the meal essentially was like the one key that I think the daughter never really um learned how to cook, or like at least she didn't see her learn how to cook, or the cooking was different, right? Something with the meal like really gave it away to Chica. But she was still kind of hesitant because at first she thought that they all planned this, right? Like they were kind of like faking her out, right? Having this whole plan out where she was the supposed reincarnated wife and whatnot. But she does see like you know an image of the wife when Chica is sitting down in a certain posture, right? Like she just has a air about her that she gets to see the image of the wife instead of her daughter, right? And we do find out that the reason why she was so kind of like also like a bit worried of all this was the fact that she feared that they were gonna take take her away from her, right? Or because if this was true, like maybe they would want to be a family again, right? And that would leave her all alone once again. But Queso kind of like reassures her that that's no longer the case. But she needs to be a caring mother.
yeah.
And it really like
I'm glad to see. I'm really excited to see where does this take them. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, we do also kind of get the tearjerker with like her asking, like, do you do you want me to still like be your mother, right? Or like something like that, right? Or like, am I still your mother? And like Taki lets her know, yes, you are my mother, and like I do want to be raised by you, right? So that kind of puts her at ease because it was kind of like, are you the wife or are you my daughter? And she's like, I'm both, but I'm gonna stick with you, right? And like I said, it's and like we were saying, it's good. Uh, Definitely not something I thought we were getting in 6 episode in, right?
right, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, and I think that's like a sentiment of some of the manga fans. They're saying like some stuff is getting kind of like skipped around, but I I I mean I just these moments are just so good. Like I'm really been enjoying this anime. Like surprisingly, it's been one of the ones that has really like made me want to watch it on release. But
Definitely,
yeah, I mean,
definitely very good.
yeah, I
Very
agree.
realistic and dramatic.
It is, but that's also why it's so good. So, all right, I think that'll be it for this one. We should move on to the next one. So, Tower of God, episode 18. What a what a good episode, right? Pretty 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 decent. We're finally getting into the competitions. We find out what happens
Yeah.
to the prince and to Miseng, right? They're how they both getting
A
manipulated.
puppet.
Yeah, how they're both
Yeah.
getting manipulated by that girl that wants them as dolls and stuff, and her little accessories kind of make Misen go kind of berserk, and she's like tearing up the competition, knocking people left and right,
Uh-huh.
to the point where like she was even attacking her teammates and stuff, and they're trying to like get her to like calm down or see, they're not trying to really hurt her, so like they're trying to find an opening to like take away her accessories that are making her go crazy. Uh, I do not. I do like want to point out that there was like a lot of like kind of just not still images because they had the mouths animating, but like just a lot of like shots of just them talking instead of like actually showing like a lot of motion, which I was like it kind of went on for like a bit too long for my taste. But I understand why they had to do it. Like they not necessarily that anything good was happening, but it was just I guess they just needed a way to like really communicate to us and how it really let us know what is gonna have to take place, right, in the fight. But I like that the prince kind of steps up, right? Because Wangnan was kind of like telling him, you say you're a prince, but you're not even pulling your own weight anymore. Like, what's that, right? So like the prince kind of like takes on Miseng, and it's kind of like you.
We see that the prince wasn't manipulated per se. It was just really the girl because
Well, no, yeah, yeah,
they
she,
were given the choice and she decided that she wanted power
yep,
and she took the those like flowers and
yep.
put it in her head. Um, from then, we see that she does take care of business.
No, yeah, she sends
She
people
defeats
flying.
them all. Yeah, she gets she defeats them. But they do wanna
Save her, essentially.
they do yeah they do wanna like get her out of there, and they end up doing that. So that was really neat.
They do, and it's a
They
thanks.
snap her out of it. So
Yep, yeah, they do. Good for them, you
yeah.
know. And the best part is after like they win, right? Essentially, they're like kind of like announce, or like make a proclamation to Biole, like we're winning, right? So it's kind of like they declared war on Fug, right? Without really intending it. So it was really kind of like a step up for Wang Nang and the others, right? To kind of like be this discreet about like opposing Bam or like Biole in this case, right? Being so weak too, right? Such an unknown like force trying to go up against probably like one of the strongest people and most dangerous E rankers right now, right? And as
Yeah, we did get an introduction to that to him. Yeah.
and we get introductions to other characters that are gonna be kind of like relevant, because the matches carry on, and we get introduced to Yama's ward dog, Mad Dog, right? Who is the
Yeah.
strongest regular right now.
Yeah.
I love the way he's just like caught like nonchalantly walking, right? And nobody's like batting an eye. Nobody's trying to get at him, minus this one person that tried to be brave, and he was kind of like, if you value your life, you would step aside, right? Just let me go through, right?
Yeah.
And
So we get yeah
obviously
we
he,
really see also I like how we kind of see like one thing getting done in each round, by one of the two groups, you know. The prince and the girl with getting her, freed from that and still winning, and still passing the game,
Okay.
and getting reunited with their group. So that's neat.
Yes.
Then this other one is the
The Mad
getting
Dog.
to meet the strongest, yeah, getting to meet the strongest,
And we also
regular, and how he just kills them all, and he is the strongest, like, and why he's considered the strongest.
yeah, and also his
Then
motivation, right?
Bam,
We find out his motivation for entering too. He wants to kill Biole, essentially, right? Because I do believe that he was a kind of like a product of Foog or something like that, right? They were mentioned like he has some ties to Foog, and
yeah, they explain his, yeah, that's why he got introduced. They explain his background, and, well, like an introduction. Then we get Bam, and weird or awkward enough, his group is like trying to idolize him and like
get him to win.
tell him how he's one of their followers, and that he has followers, and yeah, idolize like a god. And it's really awesome that Bam, just kind of reacts to it mad in a way, like that actually gets him angry. Like, you don't really get to see Bam angry, but that gets him like, no, like, stop that, like, don't do that, like, fuck that, like.
I mean, I think it's just more so also because they're idolizing a version of him he doesn't really want to be idolized, right? Because he they're kind of like idolizing him because they think he's gonna save everything, but also like the way that he's going about it, I don't think he's very too pleased with how Flukes are doing things, right? So I don't think he takes pride in becoming an idol while causing like pain to others, right?
Mhm.
So I think, but you're right. This is like one of the few times we do get to see Bam be kind of like frustrated or like shows any sort of like actual emotion, right? So it was neat to finally get that, and it was it was neat to have like the bunny girl just be like mad at him because she wants people to idolize him, right? She's like, you shouldn't go out and tell like the world that you don't want to be idolized because you are what we want to cause a change in this, right? So like you doing that is kind of counterproductive to what we want to do. But yeah, we get a little scene with Anak and Dorsey, right? And they're talking about Viola and how like Anak saw Viola's eyes, and she's like, they're kind of reminiscent of that guy that died on the first floor. So like Anak is kind of like piecing together that
Yep.
maybe Viola
He's
is Bam. And we've been saying this, right? Like me and you have talked about it like numerous times how like whenever we see Bam as Viola, they always have to cover his eyes.
Yep.
So it's just like just little things like that that are yes, the eyes are still full of innocence and Bam, right? So that's good. We don't want him to
Yeah.
change too much. And then we kind of get a cut to like Bam and how he's like thinking that everybody's really here in this tournament fighting for something, right? And he's wondering like where Rachel could be because he's still hung up about Rachel. We finally found out that, well, we finally learned that he's still hung up about Rachel. So definitely interesting. We don't see Rachel so far in this arc. So
So fucked up. What do you mean? That's just so wrong.
yeah,
Bam, that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that, Bam.
he. What can I say? The girl changed him. you know.
He's fucking whip.
Yeah, he kind of is, but I think he just really wants to confront her and really get a understanding as to why she did what she did back then, right? I think he's still trying to cope with that betrayal.
Right.
And we end off the episode in some like hype scene where it's finally the final round and it's Anak and Ran. They're gonna have their little rematch.
Haha, finally. That's pretty good though.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I like that Hats is free. Like they kind of, you remember they captured him like in the previous episodes, and he's free this episode, and
Yeah.
and he's relying on Emily bot again, and he's like, oh, funny, like I got captured here by going down to bed too.
And what about that electric guy getting
Oh yeah, like
them?
that was interesting because I do think Bam noticed him,
What is
and
he
it's
gonna
like,
say to Bam?
yeah,
That's my question.
that's a really good question. I want to know what he says to Bam because
Yeah, me too.
I do not recall what he
What do
says
you
to.
want with Bam? What do you got to do with Bam, huh? Oh well, obviously it's gonna be with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's definitely gonna be conversations that need to be had for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just interesting because Bam is like a living weapon, and he's like the actual like perfected weapon that the right and left arm devils weren't, right? So it'll be interesting to see what conversations they have. But
Agreed.
I mean, other than that, I'm just upset we didn't get any Rock this episode. But
Me too. Not even a glimpse. Not even.
nope, not even a glimpse. Not even in one of those matches. Maybe he's gonna be in the final one. I don't recall.
Yeah. I'm not even watching the fight. Nothing.
Yeah, not even watching the fights. They're just keeping Rock like to themselves, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's
They
all on
need to
this
give
one.
a little bit to us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right for next episode.
yeah. Next episode we should see a good fight at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the next show. Nina, the Starry Bride.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
The Starry Bar.
so kick us off with the princess that was killed. What a way to start.
Mm-hmm. So we see that she's been given Mary off to the troublemaker nation, you can say.
Yep.
The troublemaker nation. The one that carries the war god or the war lord or something like that, right?
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah. So we see her that she's really, really oblivious of anything, you know.
Well, not anything. Not his
She
bird.
doesn't she doesn't know that there's other brides there,
Yes, that was
and
quite the
that's really,
shock.
I mean, to anyone
Mm-hmm.
that she doesn't even have the job yet, basically.
Yeah, she applied for the job,
she's
and
she's still, in a competition.
yeah.
But I mean, it was to her a challenge from the beginning, right? I mean, she's doing this for us, so she knows that she has to put effort and work in it.
Oh yeah, and also.
But
Mm-hmm.
he really tries to discourage her, especially because she's such a positive, um, bubbly girl, I believe.
Yeah.
And those types of guys get a kick of bringing them down or just, letting them know that it's not all pretty and shit. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think he just gets a kick of being the dominant one in
Of
there, right?
course.
Right, because like we see the way he treats the other one, other like potential brides, right? When Nina meets them, and it's kind of like,
I mean, he even killed one just because he tried to kill him, you know? But of course, he could have just not killed her, you know?
yeah, but like it gave them an excuse, right, to not get
Hmm.
together with the nation that he's like, yeah, they were gonna cause a rebellion anyway at some point, so it's best to just kill her off now. So, but it does start off kind of like weird. We see that, and obviously Nina doesn't get to see him kill her. So to Nina, he seems a lot nicer, but obviously to the other
Hmm.
potential brides, they already saw like the ugly side of him, so like they're not too thrilled to like be sitting there sipping tea with them and Nina. They even try to warn Nina, like, he killed her off, right? Don't You shouldn't like try to get close with them, you could still make a run for it. It's like you don't have to be stuck here. And she's just like, no, I'm here and I'm gonna be his bride, you know,
Hmm.
doing what's best for her man. So she tries running up to him, and it's kind of like, you know, I'll become the bride you need, right? I'll do anything you ask for, and that was the wrong things to say because boy oh boy does he take that to the up extreme, and he
Yeah, to the literal. And tries to take advantage of her. Like, what an ass.
yeah he and then obviously Nina was like, in that moment she was like, oh, I fucked up, this is obviously this isn't what she expected her first time was gonna be like, right?
Hmm.
And in that instant she really thought about her true love, Oz.
And she never really thought that far, you know,
Yeah,
as a wife duties. So,
yeah,
and he could tell, right? So that's why
yeah, you could tell. And
he took advantage of that naiveness.
yeah, and then he was like, this is what I like, right? I like breaking women down. I like, that's what he's saying, like, like watching them squirm. I like making them feel helpless, right? And
Despair, yeah.
and despair. She's like, and it's like, I'm gonna break you. Essentially, that's what it's like. If you stay here, I'm gonna break you,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, really
I
is.
So I think he does give her like two options, right? Kinda.
Well, no, he says that he would either live in despair
Or kill
or
herself.
cross him and die
Yeah,
in despair.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So not good choices. Which Nina was like, I'm
no.
taking, I'm taking neither, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you upset because I'm gonna be happy here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Which,
gonna smile. I
yeah,
love her.
and it was crazy, like, because after like the whole incident happened, like everybody was talking about how the prince probably was mistreating her because of how she was walking back, right? And
Yeah.
and then the next morning they just see her and she's all happy again, and it's like, is she okay? You know, like it's
Mhm.
something. It's like I've never seen anybody meet the prince and be this happy, right? you know. So,
Correct. And she goes to meet him to tell him that, right? And and then he's like, oh, they're all like, you can't speak to him you unless you're spoken to. Oh my god.
yeah, and so he basically he was speaking to her, but she was speaking to the guards, right? That then told them, right?
Mhm.
Which is like, okay, bro, like,
Wow.
you're
Yeah. Rude.
already you're rude. You're already in the same room.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean,
And he carries that over too when she's like confronting one of his guards. So.
yeah, and
Oh yeah, and she made a friend. That
yeah,
was really sweet.
that was really sweet. She made like a common friend, Colin, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was a little too friendly. She was trying to like get the vibe of
Yeah.
the of the how it is to be the common like servant in there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
even like her what is it like her maid or whatnot, right? The one that the other king sent with her.
Yeah,
She was kind of like you shouldn't um you should be worried not to get on the prince's bad side, right?
right.
It's like you don't know what he is capable of and like what he could potentially like do to you if you uh get him on the wrong foot, right? Or step on his wrong foot, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that one friend that she makes gets in a bit of a trouble with the guards because apparently she took a feather from the
Ground
bird, right? That
from
was
the floor,
yeah from the floor. So they thought she was
and it
stealing.
fell. Yeah, I mean it fell from the bird, but
Mm-hmm.
fell on the ground. And that motherfucker was like
They were
wanted
rather
her arm, wanted her fucking hand for him.
yeah. She wanted
Ridiculous.
like to make. Uh, they were just like the prince, like uh his whoever steps his boundaries with power, right? Like he abuses his power. So do the
Mm-hmm.
guards because obviously they're like essentially whatever they do is kind of what the prince wants essentially, right? Or that's how
Yeah,
they perceive it,
so
right?
allowed.
Or what the prince will allow as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Nina being
Yeah.
Nina tries to like step in the way, right, and say that it's wrong and stuff. And oh boy, do does the set not like that, right?
Oh my god, that asshole.
And even Nina makes like a comment like like damn, his eyes are like enough to break me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
They're
her,
so cool.
hmm so her like standing up to him and it's like, well, he's like, well, so you're saying that I can cut you here and now, right? And she's like, yeah. And then he does, and it's like, did you think I was bluffing? Like, you know, it's like,
That was so, yeah, that was so extreme.
yeah, very extreme. And then, the maid gets there right as she gets cut, and he's like, if you kind of like treat her right away, she might make it. She'll make it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then there's like, this is gonna leave a scar, He's like, and he's like, well, what difference does it make, right? She's gonna end up marrying me, so
Yeah.
like, I'm the only one that's gonna be allowed to see her anyway, right?
And that's
Mhm.
just, that's enough to bring her back from the death. I love that about Nina.
Yeah. Um, that
That was
was.
her
She was
testament.
like, "Oh, so you are planning to marry me, right?" It's like
Mm-hmm.
and then even the prince kind of like shaken, right? Because it's kind of like
Yeah.
nobody's ever challenged him like this, right? Like at least in this
Mm-hmm.
way, or like cut him in this way, right?
Or gotten, you know,
One up on him.
gotten far with his shit,
Yeah, like
like on with it, like gone along
yeah,
with it this far. Mm-hmm.
this is so
Apart in a way,
yeah,
you
and I'm
know.
just like, I'm just here thinking like, oh my god, you better. After he cuts her, I'm like, you better hope that she doesn't tell us, right? Because oh boy, are you gonna have to worry if he decides to come over here and he sees this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So aside from that, I guess we can, since this is like the ending portion, we should just make a quick note of the bird Nina.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Definitely her path to getting close with the prince. So
yeah. Definitely one of the ways, and even though the bird kind of hates her because they share the same like or like a similar name, not the same name, a similar name.
hmm
It's definitely it was nice because now at least like she kind of made it like in a way that Nina was her name as a childhood, right? So
yeah,
at least she's still getting called Nina from. She might still be getting called Nina from time to time. One very endearing one with us, and then one not so endearing, right?
right. hmm
But but yeah, I'm No, this episode was good. I
It
super
was. It was.
incredible. But got anything
I
else
really
in?
do see. No.
Okay. Well, neither do I. So let's go on to the next one. So that's a reincarnated aristocrat is up next. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
so quick little things, right? In this episode, really good. I really enjoyed it. I love the arts influence for sure. Um, yeah. So it basically starts off with like,
So they got hostage or taking the people they beat up, right? Or
yeah, they have
they
him south.
conquer or they won over.
Yeah,
And then they're kind of figuring out what they're gonna do with these people because I mean they can either keep them as hostage, but we'll take resources, or
yeah.
kill them, and
They kind of do
and show
choose.
that they're not and show their dominance. So
Yeah, so they do decide. First of all, the first option was let's just straight up kill him, right? Let's just kill him. Let's show him that we're not gonna take mercy for on people that try to overthrow this nation, right? But luckily for them, they have ours, right? And ours was more thinking of the bigger picture, right? And he was basically letting Koran know that, if you kill them all now, then you're not really fighting for a united nation, right? You're fighting for
mhm.
you're gonna fight and you're gonna show resentment. They're gonna have resentment towards you, right? In the end,
Yep.
so it's like you should just try to make them switch over to your side. That's how you'll truly have a united nation at the end, right? But it doesn't come with him like not realizing that, man, and more killing people is an actual option, right? Which I didn't think he like really had put like his full thoughts into at first, but you know it's just such an interesting comparison to like when he was first shown with his father, right? Of like what war means is to kill, right? And now in this way, he's like going above that. And he's like, no, you don't have to kill. You can be diplomatic about it, right?
Or die, because also with the girl, right?
Yeah, or die.
Like she was, he was trying to like kind of talk to her or like pick on her brain. Not really sure, like. But the
Yeah,
girl was just ready to die, like just ready to
yeah,
instead of like living in shame or something like that. She was like, oh,
yeah, no,
I need to die in honor.
yeah, and basically, ours was telling her like,
No, honor is actually honoring your people, like, and
yep, and
staying alive and guiding them and protecting them and doing what's best to survive,
yeah, and
all of you.
yeah,
Which is pretty like, just like yeah.
it's definitely a good take, right, on that war doesn't have to be such
Might, yeah.
ugly, and that dying doesn't have to
Mhm.
dying isn't necessarily always the right thing to do. For dying in honor isn't always the best thing to do, I should say, right? When there's like other responsibilities that you could do while you're alive.
Mhm.
And I love how like when he's trying to like talk no jutsu her, it was kind of like everybody was like you could see like everybody's like minds go like like they get it, right? They're kind of like, damn, this kid is awesome, right? And you
Yeah.
know we have the little like I guess rivalry between Charlotte and her, right? Because Charlotte was kind of like, damn, I'm kind of jealous, like your magic can be wielded to protect people, like with all the barriers.
But then, yeah.
It's like, but mine's like just full of destruction, right? So like I'm actually kind of envious of you, right? Which was really nice, seeing that Charlotte, like I don't think we've ever seen Charlotte be so like eh, humble.
Yeah. Honest and humble, yeah.
Yeah, like honest and humbled, and like actually just having a way that she looks at her magic, right? she doesn't necessarily see it uh like a I guess she doesn't necessarily see it as a way to protect, but more so like a spear, like a way to like cause damage, right? So it was interesting to get her take on her own the way her magic is, right? And obviously, like before they're gonna go in and bay, they're thinking of like their next move and stuff. So they kind of like get Selena and the other hostages to like go in exchange, right, for others. So like they send them back, and they're essentially wanting them to like cause a ceasefire or something, right? And meanwhile, while they're like having the hostages transferring, they get what's his name? Fam, the one that's been like giving them like hints and like secret info on the side. They get him to
Yeah.
infiltrate the base, who which is supposed to be like impenetrable, so that he could lift the door so that they could invade it. Which is, honestly really smart on Russell to think that far ahead, that way, and also like think further ahead with like, how we find out that the base is like laced with like explosives everywhere. And once again, we have Selena that is like, father, you need to reprimand me, like, you know, I have to pay for like my failures essentially, right? That's how she viewed it.
Yeah.
And we get into her little backstory of like what she thought about her father prior to this war, right? And how like she felt kind of pride in him because like all his like riches and stuff was kind of earned through battle, and that's what she wanted to be, right? She wanted to be in honorable in that way where she earns all her prestige through battle as well. And that's why when the father was kind of like being used by the other by Thomas, she felt kind of like betrayed of her image of her father.
Yeah, that was really emotional. But glad he stood up to him.
Yeah, because he wanted all the people there to die, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
with the base after he handed him the explosion, the way to like detonate it, and he was like, "Nope, I first and foremost, I am a lord, and I'll protect my people." And
Mhm.
then that's when Selena kind of clicked for Selena what Ars was telling her, right?
Yeah.
And it was really really good just seeing how well that was handled, and how like they came together with Quran, and he was like, as long as you keep my people safe, I don't care what may come of me, right? Because he was the leader, he was the Lord, and he wanted to make sure his people were safe first and foremost. And I think that Selena really looked up to that now, right? Because he is putting his people and doing everything for his people. And obviously, Quran was like, you don't have to die. You can just join us. And he was like, yes, we will. And obviously, the place was laced with explosives. So like Thomas was like, I knew that there was a reason why the guy didn't really like fight back when it was this when the that
Yeah, where he pushed back.
yeah,
Yep. Definitely. I was like, that was too easy.
yeah. So he did have like another remote to send off the explosives, but when he pressed the button, the explosives exploded somewhere else, and it was all due to our boy Fam and Russell's planning, where Russell was like, I knew that they were probably gonna let that base go, right? I thought about what my enemy was gonna do, and I'm glad that we were able to get ahead of them essentially, and he gets praised by the one chick that's like, "Yep, you become a fine strategist," you know.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, they really did it. They outsmart both of them, and they're being the talk of the town. So,
Yeah, it was quite well. Just not only ours and the this army, right? Because obviously the retainers probably were also part of the talk, but like mainly ours was one of the big talks.
hmm
So it's so good just seeing him grow and influence, you know.
yeah.
And you know, he's just I just love the way he sees the world and how his way of getting people together is kind of infectious, and that also like is being like Selena's being infected with it, and like now she understands and she wants to be kind of like ours, right, in a way. And she tells him as much, right? You know, like sometimes courage can mean sheathing your sword, right? Like so not fighting, and you know. So I've been enjoying this anime.
hmm
A little political, but also like really kind of like it just has that kind of like human connection to it, right? Like where it's not just politics, it's politics, but politics that involve like the people, you know, like how people should be
Yeah.
treated. So in that aspect, I really enjoy it, and you know, I heard that there's another season confirmed already in the works. So
Oh, nice. Good
well,
to know.
yeah, it'll definitely be good. So yeah, uh, I mean that's it. I don't know. Well,
No, that's it for me too.
I guess we can say. Do you think the other king's gonna make a move? Because you know
Oh
prior,
yeah, like I said, it became the talk of the town, you know? Everyone's talking about it. So they can't not leave it like that.
yeah. Well, we'll see if he finally moves. Because
And they're
usually,
going to do something.
yeah, usually when he
But I
moves,
cannot wait how they're gonna counter that. Because that's just what they do.
yep. All right. Well, that'll be it for this one.
hmm
I think
Yeah,
we'll end this one
that takes
for.
care of this.
That takes care of this one. Yeah. Ranma, episode
Let's
5.
talk about Grandmom.
Yeah.
Um,
So we
so we
get
were left with Akane getting
her hair
a
chopped off.
shocking, yeah, a shocking chop on her hair. That's so fucked. No, especially in the middle of a disagreement, you know, and out in public. Oh bad, oh bad, oh bad. Um,
Yeah, it was.
so
I think
she's
what
been
was.
shocked. Uh-huh.
I was gonna say what was scarier is that she didn't like scream. She was just quiet, and that's how you know like
hmm
things were like really really rough for her, right? Because if she
mm
was if she didn't mind it so much, like she would like yelled off, popped off on Ranma right away. But because she
hmm
was just given kind of like in the shock herself, right? That it got chopped off, she couldn't even react to it, like you know. And basically, Ranma and both Ranma and Ryoga
And
had,
Ryoga, they went to her really
yeah, they were like
to
console
you
her.
can hit me, you can
Yeah,
so sorry.
oof. I don't know, you know. Sorry can only go such a long way, you know. Once you,
hmm Damn, she was really, really upset with that. I mean, it was a good part of the episode of her just like dealing with that. Just like processing it like
well, yeah, and we find out why, right? Though, like throughout the episode,
hmm
because it's kind of like her way of like
becoming
because
feminine more feminine.
Yes, because
Mhm.
her crush. Well, I guess because she was young, she figured that because Mr. Tofu liked her sister, and her sister had like longer hair.
Mm.
She figured probably like maybe if she grew out her hair, maybe he would see her in a more feminine way because he was like, "Oh, you're such a little tomboy," you know?
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was just really rough for her dealing with that, accepting that it got cut off, and she even had like her sister in like shock when she saw it, right? Even the sister was kind of like, "Are you okay?" Right? Because it was kind of like such a shock to her that she allowed it to happen in the first place too. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just you know, trim it around, right? Like kind of like just make it look nice, right?" So it
So,
was,
yeah, she got cleaned up, but we also see Ranma trying to cheer her up, like really, really
yeah,
getting in checking on her, telling her that he even says it in a part that he prefers short hair,
yeah,
and that he likes that cut better on her, especially. And you even see him blushing, kind of cute.
yeah. I mean, it was real
And
cute when he's like standing on a.
she
Oh,
really tells him you're open and gets him.
yeah, when he's standing on
So
the
it's
ledge right there.
yeah, such
Eh,
a good moment, to be honest.
It is, and we do get to
Mhm.
see her like eventually actually cry it out. Like she cries out that when she gets the final like haircut, right? She gets to
Mhm.
see Mr. Tofu again. She finally cries it all out. Like, oh no, I don't know why I can't
Oh
stop
yeah,
crying. Yeah.
that was heartbreaking.
Mm,
And then she said like, "Oh, such a good cry."
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, skipping around and Rama's like, "Oh, well, I'm glad that got you back in a good mood."
Well, yeah. I mean, she's been like obviously Lorama felt that she was having a rough time, and that this time it was more so like Akane was finally like trying to move on, from her crush because now she could finally like put it behind her. Now that it was like she felt like she no longer had to compete with Kasumi or could compete, I guess in a way, right? Now that her hair wasn't long, so it was kind of like a good way for her to try to move on. I want to say that's how I took it after she got done with the doctor.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
they're not the only ones with the kind of like a struggle today, right? Because we finally find out why Ryoga hates Ranma so much.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
um,
we really did. And we see the real guy's gonna be Akane's pet.
yep, little P-chan, I think, right?
So cute. I love
Mm.
it. I love it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that I was not expecting them, but like but like during that portion, I'm like they're making like a lot of obvious hints throughout it when you look when I thought bad about it, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, 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 yeah, they're definitely going in this direction, right? Like at some point, I kind of clicked on me that oh yeah, he probably changes, and then especially like after he goes and challenges him in the middle of the night, right? He goes up and
Hmm.
tries to attack him while it's raining, and the umbrella like there was a reason why he had the umbrella. It wasn't just to attack him. It was so he wouldn't change because when he changed, he changed into a pig, and he said he basically his first experience turning into a pig was very traumatizing. You know, like the Ranma's dad.
Almost getting eaten.
Yeah, Ranma's dad tried to eat him and boil him alive.
Almost getting eaten.
Yeah,
That was that is so comical. And I love how they're talking about it too. Like there is a spring of pig. It could be a human, and they laugh about it like ha ha
yeah,
ha.
and I like how Ryoga doesn't even realize uh that Ranma uh was the cause of that until like he sees the dad come in as a panda, and then it finally clicks on Ryoga like, so it was you, you know, and it's like, yes,
Poor little thing.
it is so good. Like I just been enjoying this so much, and obviously there's the other part where also like before he finds out he's a pig, right? That he thought it was a dog that he met in the alleyway, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Akane is kind of like that's this. I forgot what she called the dog, but it's like that. It's from somebody, right? It's a regular dog, and then he tries putting like a like hot water on the dog, ran to see if he changes. The dog
Yeah.
just stood there. I'm like that can be kind of like animal cruelty, you know.
I
But
like that she says it right after, like, oh, that's actually the neighbor's dog. Her name
yeah,
is Beth.
yes. Um, but yeah, there's there's things happen, and Ryoga changes back into a pig, right? And Akane is like the ever loving protector of him. So much so that at night, like Ranma tries to sneak into her own room, right? And he fails at it and kind
Mhm.
of almost lands on top of Akane, and he wakes her up and gets smacked around. So if it was like, first of all, there was like a lot of noise coming from Ranma chasing Ryoga, and then the yelling. So like when they woke up in the morning, the parents were, well, not the sisters were kind of like, there's kind of like steps to like sneaking before you sneak into your partner's room, right? Because technically they're getting
Mhm.
married, right? So
Yes.
so it's just such a fun time watching Akane for me. Like,
Yeah. It was fun. It's definitely fun. Can't wait for more. I feel like we got a peek of what is to come,
and
and I'm really excited.
yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones that I'm not like trying to be too critical of it. I'm just like enjoying it, seeing how the obviously the animation's beautiful. I can't get enough of
Mhm.
how good the animation is. Some of the moments are like really really good. The comedy is fantastic, and I mean, not much else like really like I can I can ask more of it for sure. Okay, well, I think that'll be it for Rama. We should move on to something else.